Hi, if you are a person looking forward to doing your education in the US, you will have to pass through a very important hurdle, and that hurdle is the US visa interview. Now, when you go for your visa interview, you will realize the fact that the amount of time you actually spend with the VO being questioned is not too long. VO then is going to take a decision on whether to approve your visa or to reject it, and this is going to happen on the spot. Quite often, students ask me, how is it that VOs have not spent enough time with me or asked me enough questions, and yet they have taken a decision of rejecting me? The reasoning is very simple. Even before your interview process starts, they know something about you. And the way they know is by the most important document you are going to fill in this whole process, known as the DS-160. DS-160 is a very comprehensive database which you will be providing to the visa officer. And quite often, even before your visa interview commences, the visa officer has, in all probability, made up his or her mind. It is very important, therefore, that you understand the significance of DS-160 and see to it that you are not spoiling your chances by writing something which can give a negative view of your overall personality and objective. In this video, what I am going to be doing is take you through the whole process, step by step, from the creation of the account to the final submission. Please take your time to understand it and use this as a guide while you are filling your DS-160. But before I start, in case you have not followed this channel, please make it a point to subscribe this. We make it a point to keep updating the channel with a lot of up-to-date news and reviews so that you are able to reach the dream of going to the US and joining there for your masters or for bachelors and start a new life there. I am now going to be running through step by step. It's a long video because it's a more than 20-page document which you will be required to fill. I'm going to be starting from opening the site where you will be required to provide all the information that is going to be necessary for the visa officer to evaluate your profile. And as I earlier said, what you write here is in a way going to define the impression the visa officer has of you and of the opportunity that you seek. So, how do we start the whole thing? What you should be doing is to go to google.com and then type in DS-160 form filling. It will take you to the site where you will be asked to first create a login, an account, and then to give the information. So this is that site of the US Department of State. When you go there, the first thing that you need to do is to put in the location. You will realize the fact that if you're from India, there are 5 options that are there: Chennai, Hyderabad, Calcutta, Mumbai and New Delhi. Please choose what is relevant for you. I am from Visakhapatnam, so I am going for Hyderabad. After that, it is a code that is given there just to confirm the fact that you are not a bot. You have 2 options. You are not retrieving here, you are starting an application. So that is a tab that you will press. Once you do that, you are now inside. You can read through this information. Not much of a value add here, but this number that you see, application ID, is very important for you to take a note of. Go ahead, mark I agree, and then you will realize the fact that the page will keep refreshing itself. Please see to it that you are taking a printout of this so that you have it in your record. Now, as I said, this is a very important ID. You will probably be using it extensively even while filling this form because this system is not very robust. There are certain security questions that you will come across. Please see to it that you are selecting one which you're not forgetting. In this case, I'm selecting my mom's maiden name, Banu, as my security question. Quite often, you will find the fact that it is timing out. So even if you are sitting there and wish to fill it in one go, you will probably see that your system is getting timed out multiple times, and therefore you will have to continuously retrieve the application, and therefore this number is something that I strongly recommend that you keep a note of even in your notebook. Now this application has now been created. I'm going to retrieve that. There are additional informations that the system will ask for. These are additional elements in the security question, so see to it that you are carefully filling this up. Now comes the stage where I am required to start filling in various information. This part is very, very important. The concept of surname and given name. How do you get this information? Bear in mind, it has to be in line with your passport. This is a model of the passport. You will realize the fact that it has all the critical information that is required while filling this form, and you have to adhere to exactly the way it is given in the passport. Therefore, surname, whichever is written there, has to find a place in the surname in the application, and given name, the way it is there, should find a place in the application under given name. So I'm filling that. In my case, I do not have any native alphabet. In quite a few other cultures like Chinese, there are. This is not something that is relevant for the Indians. In case you have had any other name earlier, your name has changed, either because you have legally changed them or your name got changed on account of marriage, that information of the earlier name has to be put in here. Now, the concept of telecode is again not something that is there in the Indian culture. It is there in few other cultures, non-Latin name based cultures like Chinese. For us, it is no. You will be selecting your gender, you will be selecting your marital status. Go ahead, mark it if you are married, otherwise you will be selecting single. Details of your place of birth, date of birth again should be taken as per the passport. All these details have to be exactly the way they are in the passport. Go ahead, go to the next page, which again pertains to your personal information. Quite often you will be asked to repeat certain information. Please do not get frustrated, do it very carefully. Now, when it comes to the national identification number, in case you don't have any, do not hesitate putting do not apply, otherwise write in your Aadhaar number. US Social Security number and US taxpayer ID number will not be applicable for you. So go ahead, mark that it's not applicable and go to the next section which deals with travel. Now, it's important for you to understand that this portal is for many non-immigrant visa applicants. You are going to go for a student visa, which is known as the F1 visa. Now, it is also asking you regarding your travel plans. For a student visa, go ahead and mark no. It is asking intended date of travel. Now, how do I decide that? What if I have not booked my flight ticket as yet? What if I'm waiting for my visa approval and then receipt of my passport before I go ahead blocking my flight ticket? Now, it's important for you to understand when you can enter the US, and to understand that you have to understand I-20 form which you would have received. Now, if you look at your I-20 form, it clearly mentions what is known as the earliest admission date. Now, appreciate the fact that this basically means that you're not allowed to enter the US prior to this. Now, the earliest admission date is a month before the start of the program. So during that 1 month window, you are allowed to enter. Therefore, the date that you mention as an intended travel date has to be in that window. Now this I-20 is one of my students' earlier one, which basically talks about July 2023. Now I am going to be making a small assumption for this video that it is July 2025 is what mentioned in the I-20 form. So I know the fact that the earliest I can enter is 31st July 2025. So the whole month of August, the 1 month window, I can make an entry. So go ahead, take any day in that window, probably 1 week or so after the earliest entry date, and then you can mark that here. If you are going for your masters, make it a point to write 2. If you're going for your undergraduation, 4 years. Where are you going to stay? This again is information that you probably do not have in hand. You have not booked a place of stay. So take this information from your I-20. Notice the fact that in your I-20, the address of the institution or the university that you are going is clearly mentioned. You will be taking this information into your DS-160 form. Who is going to pay for your trip? Go ahead, mark yourself. The next one is probably not going to be relevant for you. Therefore, go ahead and mark no. No one is traveling along with you. If you have made any travel earlier to the US is going to take that into cognizant. Quite often, if you have already been there and come back, it is positive from the visa perspective. This is the page where they will capture that information. If you are saying yes, you will have to provide that information. Please see to it that this is there in your passport as well. Otherwise, mark no and go forward. So if you have been earlier, it does ask for the type of visa. In case your visa has been refused earlier, you will have to mark this as yes. Please don't provide any information which is false. You will have to explain what happened. So you could probably write something of this nature. In case your visa was rejected, you would have been provided a form 214B. Therefore, you are basically writing that here. Now, in case your visa has not been rejected, mark no. Sometimes it's possible that for few of you, your parents might have gone to US, your parents might have applied for immigration to the US and they might have filed immigration petition earlier. If that is not the case, then go ahead, mark no and go to the next section which deals with address and phone. Now this home address is the address where you are actually residing right now. It has nothing to do with the address that has been provided in the passport. Now in case your mailing address is the same as the home address, please mention yes. Your phone number, if you have an alternate number which could be a landline number, and of course if you are working, you can put your work phone number, otherwise go ahead and say does not apply. These are information that you can go on filling. Be careful with the email address, your communication will come there. This is a very important information. Providing a social media platform information is a big plus if you are clever enough. Do remember the fact that across various countries now visa officers have started looking at the social media channels to understand your inclination, your beliefs, and if they do go contrary to the country's beliefs, then you are at a disadvantage. So please see to it that you are very careful in what you are mentioning in social media, and the most professional of which you have, please make it a point to put in. This is a LinkedIn one which I am going for. Now this is my LinkedIn link. You will notice this part. This is the one that you will have to feed in. I am not going for additional social media platforms. You can, but as I said, be cautious. Next, we go to providing basic information regarding the passport. If it's a regular passport, which will be the case for most of us, put your passport number. The passport number is mentioned here. Passport Book number does not apply. Feed in the basic information. Again, take it from the passport. You need to be very careful that the information you put in regarding the city, you will notice the fact that passport does not mention the state or the province, so you are not going to put in. This is a common mistake many people do. Please do not provide any information on the passport page which is not there in the passport. State and province information is not present in the address in the passport, so do not put that. The date of issue as well as expiry has to be again in line with that mentioned in the passport. You will also be asked for the US point of contact. Whom should I put here? My strong recommendation is to put your school officer, the details as well as the address of the college. You will notice the fact that the officer's name is mentioned here. However, when you are feeding it in, you need to be very clear what the surname or the given name of the officer is. So how do you get the information? I make it a point to recommend my students to go to LinkedIn and understand their profile. So if you were to just type in the name along with the name of the college, the LinkedIn link of the officer is going to come out. You can look at the profile. Now here it might not still be clear as to what the surname is and what the given name is. Now in this case, of course, the officer has since then moved from UNBC to some other college. So how do I get to know what is the surname and what is the given name? I prefer using either Google or ChatGPT to get to know of it. Once I know what is the given name and what is the surname, I'll accordingly transfer these details into my DS-160 form. Mention clearly the name of the organization. You are likely to make a mistake too. Be careful. For example, if you look at this, I have wrongly written Maryland spelling. Such mistakes are to be avoided. It then asks the address and the other contact details of the officials. You can again take the information of the school address from the I-20 and then copy it in here. Zip code is also something that is available in I-20. We don't have the phone number, so what do? We go to Google, get to know the phone number of the university, and then I can put it in here. Email address is not known, therefore you could go ahead and mention does not apply. The next information pertains to the family. Please be careful here again. Whatever information is there in the passport, take it from there. For example, your father's name is there in the passport. Please write it the way it is. You should know the date of birth of both your parents. Even if your father is no more or mother is no more, please see to it that you are feeding in the basic information. Do you have any relatives? This is a very critical one. Do remember, if you mark yes, they will ask you who they are. In this, when they say immediate relatives, it includes your spouse, your fiance in case you are engaged, child or sibling. So only if any one of these category people are there, please be truthful in filling that information. Do not give any information that is false. Do you have any other relatives in the US? You don't really need to declare. You say no and then go forward. Your work details are very, very important because they give an idea to the visa officer regarding your overall profile. Please provide the authentic information. Bear in mind that in case you are feeding something, you should have the background papers for the same. The US is in all likeliness will start collecting those documents going forward. Currently, it's not doing so. Fill in to the best of your knowledge. The brief description of your duties is a very critical element in this. Please see to it that you are using bullet points to clearly highlight what your role is and try to link your past with the program that you're going to go for so that you have a smooth story to tell them. However, if you are a person who does not have any experience, you are a student, you will mark education and then provide the details of the school currently you are doing your education in. Alternatively, in case you have already completed your education, then you will mark unemployed if you are not working currently. Do see to it that you're not leaving this empty. Make a case to show the connect between what you have done and what you're going to do. Provide short but complete information here. Now, this was regarding your present employment. Now we are talking about the past. In case you have worked in the past, you will feed in the information. But this part is very important for everyone. You are supposed to give in all the information starting from your 10th class, then your 11th and 12th, which otherwise is also called as intermediate in few states, and then of course your undergraduation if you're going for your masters. When it comes to the date of attendance, you might not know the exact date. You don't need to be exact. You know which year you did your 10th class in, and you know which month approximately that program started. So you could select any date in that month and mark it and go forward. Now, when it comes to the date of attendance, in case you have the details in your passing certificate, you can mark that. Otherwise, the same strategy, you know the year, you know the month, pick up any date and go ahead. You will have to provide information about your intermediate education, that is 11th and 12th too. Notice the fact that I am bringing both the years together here. Course of study, I am mentioning it as 11th and 12th. Again, I am going to be mentioning the dates, either basis any document I have or any date in the month and year I know I started and ended this level of education. In case you have a gap, nothing to worry about. You can leave that part. Now, here, do not mention the name of the college, rather mention the name of the university that your college is affiliated with. In case you do not know the address, again, you can depend on either Google or ChatGPT to get that address of the university. Why am I mentioning the university here? Because my degree is going to be from this university. Having filled that, a few more personal questions are going to be asked. Do you belong to a clan or tribe? Now remember, even if you belong to ST, the answer is no here. This is not applicable for the Indians. Do mention clearly the list of languages that you know of. Do not mention any language where you do not have conversational level of skill, because for all you know, the visa officer might end up knowing that language. If you have traveled abroad and you have a stamping in the visa, it's a positive again. So if you do have information, go ahead and provide the same. Read the questions carefully, mark no where necessary. In case you have worked for any charitable organization, even within the college, you can mention yes. Others, read through it. If it is not applicable, then mark no and go forward. Lot of questions pertaining to your background. Hygiene, security check is happening. So you could read through it and mark no if it's not applicable to you. In case answer is yes, please make it a point to explain the same. Otherwise, for most of you, I'm hoping it's going to be no. Continue with the security details. Continue reading them carefully, marking yes or no, hopefully no, and then go forward. This is the 4th page again. And the final page on your background. Now this is very important. Read the instruction very carefully. They are asking you for references, 2 references in your home country, that is in India, and they cannot be your relatives. I normally recommend my students to have 2 references and their details already clearly written in a Word document, which then they can transfer it here. Like this Word document contains basic information of my parents and the other contact details. So I can just copy it from here into the form. It is important for you to be correct about the phone number as well as email in case anyone wants to get in touch with them to get a feedback on you. Now we reach the end of the form. This is very important service information. Once you have decided on the college that you wish to attend, you will be getting the I-20. Each I-20 has a service ID that is associated with it. You will get that in your I-20 form. Please fill in the details very carefully. This is what is known as a service number. In case you have multiple I-20s, you need to select that college's I-20 that you intend to attend in the US. Fill in the basic details. Please do note that the system does not accept comma. So I have written without a comma here. However, don't worry too much about it. In case you do put a comma, while you try to save it, the system will show you an error and give you an opportunity to correct that. The course of study is very, very critical. Let us say I am going for MS in data science, but my I-20 might not actually say that. It's okay if offer is in MS in data science while the I-20 talks about a course which is a bit different. The reasoning is very simple. The course might be MS in data science, but the college has registered that for service purpose under another heading. So which one should I truly mention? Please mention as per your acceptance letter. So if your acceptance letter says MS in computer science, then mention MS in computer science here. If it mentions MS in data science, irrespective of what is mentioned in your I-20, mention that course which you intend to do. The details of the college again can be taken from the I-20. Now we have provided all the information that is required. Now if you read the first sentence, it says data entry for your NIV application. NIV stands for non-immigrant visa application. My recommendation is that take a printout of it and then read it carefully. You could alternatively go page by page here, and in case you think there's any error, you cite, and in case you do cite any error, you could edit it immediately. Please run through it carefully, either as a printout or here. And finally, you will be asked to sign and submit the application. Once you submit it, you will notice the fact that it clearly highlights it has been submitted and you are not allowed to make any modifications moving forward. Now, this is a very important page that tells you a lot of information. Number one, it says very clearly that if you have provided any wrong information while entering, you could be deported in case the truth comes out. So please refrain from giving any information which is not factual. It can endanger your chances and lead to deportation at any time in the future. The second critical information that is provided in this page is that even if you get the visa, the final decision will be taken only when you are going for your immigration interview. Immigration interview is a very critical interview before you enter the US soil, and I will be making a video on that as well. Please make it a point to subscribe to this channel so that you are up to date of the developments and you are aware of what you should do and what you should not. The last few questions here, did anyone assist you in filling this application form? Go ahead and mark no, even if you did get assistance from someone. And then You are going to be putting in your passport number, which is going to be taken as a final step equivalent to your signature. Now, once it's done, you are done. But before you close, please make it a point to take a copy. This barcode is very, very essential moving forward for blocking your visa slot. I would strongly recommend you to take a printout. In fact, send it to your email, this sheet. And by doing so, you will receive a copy of this in your email for your records. The form, the DS-160 form, is a very important form. You do not need to fill it in one go. You can save it and go back to it again and again. But do bear in mind that within 30 days of you creating this form, you have to submit it. If you fail to submit it, the whole process would have to be repeated. What you are mentioning in this form is very, very important and forms a foundation for your visa interview. So please be very careful. In case you have any questions on this, feel free to write a comment and I will make it a point to revert with my suggestion on the same. Once again, please do subscribe to this channel. Your subscription would be an encouragement for us to work in giving you more videos which are informative. I wish you all the very best.